3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Hey, what's up guys, it's Texumer talking to you here, and today I'm gonna review the AirPods Pro 2 years later. Yes, the AirPods Pro now have 2 years since they have been released from Apple. And yes, the AirPods Pro were the first time that Apple redesigned the AirPods lineup, because before they had released the original AirPods in 2016 and the redesign in beginnings of 2019. The AirPods Pro were kind of a strange product at the beginning because they were a very different redesign and a very different approach to the AirPods lineup. Before, Apple had launched the AirPods normal edition, let's say that, the normal AirPods at 2016 when they removed the iPhone jack from the iPhone 7. And so, in 2019, they had the need to introduce new features to the AirPods lineup, just like ANC and transparency mode. And of course, the tips from the AirPods. Now, if you think about it, the AirPods Pro were the most revolutionary thing happening to the AirPods lineup. Since 2019, we haven't had any huge redesigns. And so, I think that it's worth it to revisit the AirPods Pro 2 years later. Even though they are old now, I'm expecting Apple to refresh the AirPods Pro next year. I do think still these are a great value, especially if you find them at a discount now on Black Friday or Amazon or Best Buy or other stores. But before I go into this review, roll the intro. I have had the AirPods Pro for a while now. These are almost 2 years old, or 2 years old, because they were released on November of 2019. The AirPods Pro, when they first introduced, people were thinking that they were too expensive, because they were really expensive until like last year when this discount started to appear, because Apple introduced the AirPods Pro at $249, and those were expensive because we only saw the AirPods going up to $199, which were the original AirPods 2 with wireless charging case, and before that the AirPods normal started at $169. So I mean, the AirPods Pro were very expensive for the time, and Apple introduced two main features with it, which was ANC and transparency mode. What we didn't thought at the time that Apple would update these phones regularly and give it so many features that 2 years later, I gotta tell you, these are way different from the first product that I bought in 2019. These AirPods had slightly less battery life than the normal AirPods, but they added two amazing and right now undescribable features, which are the ANC, which is the best ANC that I found to use in EarPods, and of course transparency mode, which is a unique thing to have. And let me tell you, transparency mode on the AirPods Pro is so good that I've used other transparency modes on other headphones and phones, and they suck. They really suck when compared to the AirPods Pro, and every time I use a very different type of earbud, I appreciate how good the AirPods Pro technology is. Of course, it has its drawbacks. For example, the battery life is not as good as the other AirPods lineup, and now that we have the AirPods 3 with this design, we can see that the ANC and transparency mode have a cost on battery life, because now you can get 6 hours on the AirPods 3, which doesn't get, of course, ANC and transparency mode. And these EarBuds, although they have the same design, probably the same batteries, they have way power hungrier features, just like ANC and transparency mode, and so they spend a little bit more battery life, and they have only 4.5 hours of battery life. But again, the battery life is still good. 2 years later, they still last me enough for me to not to notice that the battery life is bad enough, but I'm sure that in terms of degradation, there is some. And of course, AirPods in general are a product that after a very quick short amount of time, you notice the battery degradation a lot, because they are very small products and small cases that host very small batteries that after a while get degraded, and the battery life just turns into a very bad mess. Of course, the original AirPods that I had before those, the battery life on those lasts like 15 to 20 minutes. It's really that bad. The case, I haven't noticed any differences in terms of capability of charging, but I noticed that it's a very dirty and scratched up case. I have never used the case on the AirPods Pro, but let me tell you, it's completely destroyed. It's very scratched up, dirty. I clean it a lot, but it's very scratched up, dirty. It picks up colors from the jeans, it picks up dust, it picks up a lot of scratches, and the case design is amazing. The case design was bigger than the original AirPods. When compared to those, this case is not as tall, but is way more wide, so it takes more space. If you put it on the same direction, so on portrait mode, you will notice that this case is taller than the AirPods Pro original, but again, this case fits bigger pods, which were the AirPods Pro, which had silicone tips. And let me give you a tip about the silicone tips. If you are a person that feels that the silicone tips are not as comfortable as they should be, or don't seal as good as they should, you go into Amazon and you go buy these $12 premium foam ear tips and you use them, and let me tell you, those make a huge difference. Randy Vasquez recommended those on Twitter, and I believe that I will get one to try it out and I'll give you my feedback later. But according to a lot of YouTubers, these foam tips are insane and they solve a lot of problems that had with the silicone tips on this AirPods Pro. But I have never had those problems, so I cannot tell you. These seal great. At the beginning, when my ears were used to the normal AirPods, these AirPods Pro used to fall out, but now they don't, so now they fit great. The ANC works amazingly well. You just press the stem and of course it turns ANC on, and when you want to turn transparency mode, you just press it again and it turns transparency mode on, and it's insanely good. It just feels like a movie. Like when you want to shut up or mute the movie, you just press the stem and it shuts up the movie. But if you want to hear your background and you are on the street crossing sidewalks or talking to someone, you just press your stem and suddenly everything turns into clear. It's like you get to hear again. Or when you go into your doctor and you clean your earwax, it's that good. So again, these two technologies are insanely good. I recommend the AirPods Pro just for those, and to mow the law, to work on a very loudly place, you just put those on and you solve the problem. Of course, if you go into an airplane or a flight, these are amazing too, because you can watch your movies, stream videos, hear some music without being disturbed by the noise or other things on the airplanes, crying babies, you know, all the problems that you hear on an airplane. So again, these phones are incredible for that too. The sound quality is good, way better than the original AirPods. It has now spatial audio, one of the features that Apple added later, and it works very well. It's as good, almost as good as the AirPods Max, and I think that right now these are the best, or one of the best sounding earbuds on the market, and overall package, they are the best package, because now you can find them for $180 on Amazon, and watch out if you can find them on Black Friday for even less. And that's why I don't recommend the AirPods 3. Those are too expensive when compared to these discounted AirPods Pro, which are, in my opinion, still better than the AirPods 3. Of course, these have the silicone tips, the AirPods 3 don't. So if you really hate the AirPods Pro silicone tips, go for those. But in my opinion, and for this review, I'm telling you, the AirPods Pro are the best earbuds to get. And of course, my opinion on this haven't changed for the last 2 years. These are the best earbuds that I've had and that I've tried. And of course, the sound quality is not the best. The battery life is definitely not the best. But overall, if you add up every feature and every quirk on these AirPods and the price, you will get the best overall earbuds, in my opinion. And for a lot of people too, because I've walked around in the street and I see a lot of AirPods, way more than the original AirPods. So I think that everyone now is getting on the train of the AirPods Pro, because these are my favorite earbuds ever, and I think that everyone that uses AirPods Pro just falls in love with it, and I think that they are way worth the price that I paid. Right now, I don't think so, because Apple will be refreshing these AirPods Pro very soon, probably removing the stem, which I'm not a big fan of. I would like Apple to keep the stem. It's something that you can hold on when taking the AirPod, or use the pressing technology, which is very, very good and way more comfortable than just tapping your AirPods, which just hurts your eardrum. But what are your opinions on the AirPods Pro? 2 years later, I gotta tell you, one of the best decisions I ever made. I only paid 200 euros for these AirPods because they were on discount. Again, you can find them cheap if you want to, and they are the best earbuds for the money. Of course, if you find them at $180, don't forget to put on the comments down below for others to find it too. And while you're there, leave your opinion on those. If you like it, if you're not, do you have them, do you not? And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Follow my social networks, Twitter and Instagram. This was like Summer talking to you here. Bye.